Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, a game that promises to let me do what I've always wanted to do, which is take ancient forces and throw them against not-so-ancient forces and see how they'd do. And pretty much that's all I want out of a game. So complaint 1, Roman is a subset of ancient Greece. Which is interesting. I mean, as is Persian, which, you know, is a bit offensive to the Persians, but I guess maybe after the time of Alexander, that's vaguely accurate. But Romans is a subset of Greeks. Ooh, dear. That's controversial. And 2, you can only have Spartans. No Athenians. Dear oh flipping dear. So we've also got a mount here. So I've got 250 right now, but if I want to, I can just have 99, 999. Ooh, 9,000. Okay, 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million. 100, okay, the game's, apparently I'm allowed to have 100 million. Rome Total War starts chugging when about, say, 4,000 or 5,000 people end up on screen. Okay, maybe that will be a little excessive for now, but alright, let's push this. Let's give it 10,000 Romans going in, the well-known faction of ancient Greece. And we'll have them taking on 10,000 heavy knights just to see how they do, because, you know, always bet on Rome, basically. That's the rule, always bet on Rome. Well, we can have the rank shape. Hang on, 1.5. Ah, is this just depth and thickness and whatever? Fine, I see. So you know what? Let's make the battle as wide as possible. Let's get both of you over to 2. That will do. Just very quickly kind of reshape this so you kind of meet roughly in the middle. Today's weather, mostly sunny with some sun. I think we need to fire the weatherman. FPS is currently 6. I may have made a mistake. I've started the battle, it dropped to 3, I hadn't finished making a mistake yet. Okay, let's start off with a bit more of a skirmish, just 10,000 on 10,000, that's fine, you know, that's okay. Alright, frame rate's dropped to 20 odd, but it is at least remotely viewable. So, in come the flipping knights. And yes, as I understand it, I can indeed possess any of these guys I want to. I don't want to be that guy. That guy's right at the front. What you want to be is one of these guys at the back. Yeah, now I'm this guy. Woo! And now I can just charge forward and get involved. Lovely. Probably I ought to yeah, that's right. Sprint. Actually, you know what? This guy, I'm just going to walk. Oh dear, here come the Romans. Right, go, go, go. Get involved, get involved. Oh, there's too many flipping knights in front of me. Gosh, flipping darn it. Right, so the Romans have enemies killed 14. Enemies killed 130. Hang on. Let me through. Let me through. I'll flipping take care of this. I'll take care of this. Screw the lot of you. There you go. Heavy knights remaining. Still 9,800. The Romans would not be doing this badly. Alright, screw you. Not true. Not true in the slightest. That is not how badly Romans would do. Let's get right in here into the horrendously low frame rate. I do not accept this ultimate epic battle simulator. So according to this game, which is wrong, Romans would just have their asses handed to them by medieval knights. No, 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 no. You, Caecilius, you should probably just head this way. Come on, run. Save yourself. Metella and Quintus need you. Okay, let's get into the more interesting stuff here. Can 10,000 Romans seize a town from 1,000 US World War II soldiers? Oh, wait, hang on, wrong way round. Hold position and attack there. Lovely, yeah. So, the Romans of the ancient Greek world, obviously, have to attack. The US soldiers have to hold the city. 1,000 people with guns versus 10,000 of one of the finest armies that was ever created, but admittedly did not have guns. Oh yeah, we got a big, beautiful city to get defended here. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. I think the Romans are going to be over there on those hills, I think. Hang on. Maybe they're not. Right, who's where? Right, there they are. There's the men with the guns. They're going to try and hold these narrow city streets. And what are they trying to hold it against? They're trying to hold it against, if we just kind of head up here a little bit, out of the city. Yep, it's going to be narrow street fighting over here. Somewhere. There they are! In come the Roman! I'm going to put my money on Rome. Place your bets now down in the comments, but I think we have got to put our money on Rome here. Not necessarily those Romans over there. Those Romans over there are going to struggle slightly because I think they're going to try and climb it. In fact, you know what? We're going to start over here with these guys to figure out what exactly these guys are planning to do next. Because if these guys are clever and this work around the cliff, they might be able to flank the Americans. So, Rome versus their kind of spiritual successors in the very, very distant future, the Americans. Go! Begin battle! Die, frame rate! Die! Oh dear, the Americans are already shooting. Oh, that's not so good. The Romans have wait. The Romans have already lost. How have the Romans already... Wait, what happened to all those other troops? I think some people might have just spawned inside nothing. So as it turns out, rifle fire looking like it's working pretty damn well against the Romans. I mean, that was always their weakness. Didn't have guns. But there's a lot of them. Do these guys have to, like, reload or anything at any point? Because if they don't, I feel like that's... Okay, Rome, I'm just going to suggest this here might not necessarily be the best angle to approach from. Oh, God, it's like Julianus Vatinius and his Cretan archers have been reborn, but in American form. They're getting slowly closer. These guys... Okay, I think actually the hope might lie with some of these guys. Because if these guys could just... Okay, the hope doesn't lie with these guys. Have we got anything else coming from the side over here? No. Most of the Roman army's been kind of bottlenecked over in this direction. Just kind of keep going over here. Life's not looking... Oh, I think they can just shoot through the buildings. Can they just shoot through the buildings? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can. The buildings don't exist. As it turns out, sneaking around the corners, not going to work so hard for Rome. Not actually sure a single American... Oh, I think that might have been the first American to actually die there. A Roman did actually... Oh, hang on, yeah. The Romans getting around the sides here are getting the odd shot in. I would run. Yep, that's another person that's dead right there. Right. You know, let's get down here. Let's help out the Romans. They need the help. I'm going to get down over here. So, we are now playing as this guy. In we go, in we go. Now, what we want to do is we want to get, like, as far around the side of these guys as possible. Ideally, like, right over here. Get right round the rear of them. No, I'm being shot. Apparently, guns are... Yeah, guns are pretty good. But the Romans are, at the bare minimum, getting round here, and they are getting the odd shot in. They have admittedly sacrificed 1,400 of their numbers so far, just to take out, I think, about 4 or 5 Americans. And I imagine things aren't exactly going great over here. Hang on, just go over to... Where's the main... Yeah, so my plan that the Romans would eventually just be able to kind of barrel their way through the streets over here, not gone so well. Apparently no one has actually made it past, like, this point right here. So... It's possible we're going to be needing some more Romans, or, potentially, more of an alliance of the ancient worlds. So, I've evened the score a little bit by providing the Romans with some reinforcements. Over at 10 o'clock around the city, we have got the Persians, or as we should be calling them henceforth, nature's losers, including, yep, a whole bunch of guys here, and potentially some less useful guys up here. Not really sure what they're planning to do when the battle begins. Possibly we'll kind of be looking at them when the battle actually starts. Over, down at the south of the city again, out for some revenge this time, it's the Romans. There they are. I've put them in a slightly different position this time. I think the rest of them have kind of despawned. I think if you're like a unit like spawns in a location where technically they can't spawn, they end up in this odd situation where they end up like despawned. Because you can see there that for some reason the Spartans over on that side of the city, it looks like about a third of them haven't shown up. Possibly because they spawned like inside a rock and thus immediately despawned afterwards. So good job there, Spartans. That's right. We brought the Spartans. Honestly, let's be honest, the Spartans aren't quite as badass as you probably believe based on, like, history or popular culture. They were good, but they weren't that damn good. In fact, you know, they actually lost quite a few wars and skirmishes and whatnot. They were not an invincible, unstoppable fighting force by any stretch of the imagination. But screw it, let's bring them in and see what they can do. And finally, most importantly of all, at the very top of the city, we do, of course, have the Tortoise Regiment. I'm not sure they'll necessarily be contributing a huge amount, but it is nice to know that they are still coming, yes. We'll keep an eye on how those guys do. And there's the Americans clustered around this church. They appear to be, yes, I think they've lost potentially a third of their number in the church, but this all works. This means they've got a nice defensive position, plenty of streets and whatnot. Yep, happy with this. So let's just zoom right out and then begin the battle, and we'll zoom in where we need to. Boom, that will do. Lovely. Frame rates collapsed, but that's fine. And the Americans... Oh, no. No, not the turtles! I think the Americans are already going for the turtles. The tortoise is going to start going down. They might not have the range just yet. Oh, well, on the plus side, the tortoises are going to be effectively drawing fire. That's marvellous. Yes. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, no. Technically, this is a free-for-all. No! The Persians are going for the tortoises. No, guys. What are you doing? Don't go for the tortoises. Actually, the tortoises are doing really well. It's possible because they've got a nice hard shell. Yep. There we are. The Persians are indeed going for the tortoises right now. In fact, they've only managed to take out a single tortoise. The Persians are really going for it, but these tortoises, they take a flipping beating. In fact, actually, I think the I think the Persian numbers are going down faster than the tortoises right now. The tortoises are winning. Okay, fine. Don't worry about that for the minute. Instead, let's head over here and see what's going on over here. See if the whole combined forces of the... Oh, the Americans are going down. The Americans are struggling. Oh, yes. The combined force. The tortoises have actually won the day because now the Spartans are actually getting in. A mysterious large amount of Americans are indeed focusing on tortoises. The Persians aren't doing so hot. Continuing their proud tradition of losing pretty much every major war they got involved with. The Romans aren't doing great either. It's got to be said, it's the Spartans who are doing the good work right now. They're getting in, but if the Americans just turn their fire on the Spartans, they'll probably be able to do a decent job. Possibly, this game is just saying that Spartans are better than Romans, which is just blatantly, demonstrably, historically untrue, but what have you. The Spartans are getting in there. They're doing good work. Well done, Sparta. Spartans, let me ask you that... Where the bloody hell are you going? Are those guys going for the turtles too? I think they've decided. Yes, they actually are. They're being diverted to go and deal with the tortoises because they now think the tortoises pose a bigger threat than the Americans. Well, that's just embarrassing for the Americans, really. Spartans, let me ask you that famous question. What is your profession? Well, actually, we're probably most of the time just farmers, really, though there's not a huge amount of cultural evidence to support. That wasn't the answer we were looking for, Sparta. Romans not exactly doing great, but I think they're being actually distracted by, yes, indeed, they're being distracted by the flipping Persians, who are coming in, but obviously Romans are going to be able to beat Persians pretty easily one-on-one. Unfortunately, it has distracted the entire flipping army, large parts of it now breaking away to go and deal with that. Oh, for goodness sake, guys. No! Why, this wasn't what you were supposed to... I don't know if there's any way to actually ally people at all. I think you just basically have to deal with everything being just a massive cluster flip from all directions. So, the Americans are still doing okay. When I say okay, there's only flipping 300 of them left and the Spartans are cutting through them because for whatever reason, the Americans decided not to go for the Spartans. Maybe they just really enjoyed the movie 300, as historically garbage as it was. Yep, in fact, the Americans are almost done. Let's get down there, join in the fight here. This is me. This is me now. I've got... Oh, these guys have got 250 health. I suppose the Romans only had like 100 or something. Well, that's just ridiculous. Excuse me. Let me through. I think we missed the Americans. I think the Americans are all good. Yeah, I think we actually missed all of the Americans. That's a shame. Oh, war is hell. Low frame rate, janky hell. Well, I wasn't really expecting this, but it would now appear that it's now become a bit of a three-way fight between the Persians and the Romans and the Spartans. Well, the Persians don't stand a bloody chance. They never have in any bloody war. But now I suppose it's now Spartans versus Romans. Now, the problem is the Spartans actually have a bit of a disadvantage in the numbers. They actually started with a bit of a disadvantage because I kind of spawned them inside a giant rock. So really, they've only lost about like 1,500 of their number. The Romans have lost 2,000, appear to be going down a lot more quickly. But of course, the Spartans' own success will count against them. If they start pushing the Romans back, then as a result, the Persians will just start coming in. Though it would appear the Persians are overwhelmingly now focused on the Romans, not on the Spartans at all. Aside from these Spartans, you just get involved. That is literally what's happened here. The Romans and the Persians were having a good fight. The Spartans have decided, screw it, we're going to fight both at once because that's the Spartan way. How much health do you stupid bastards have over here in Persia, by the way? You have got yourself 150. Wait a minute, 150? Wait. Get over here to a Roman. Get over here to a Roman at the back here. Only 110? You're saying Persians have more health than Romans? Screw you. Screw you, Spartan. You are not that much better than Rome, alright? Historically, this is all very clear. He just flipping stabbed me to death. Blimey. I think the Spartans can just one-shot Romans. I do not accept this. Romans are more badass than that. The tortoises... Oh no, the tortoises are in trouble. Who's finishing off the tortoises right now? It's probably the Spartans because they're finishing off everyone else. Oh no, tortoises 2-1. We can't even get to them in time. We don't... Oh no. The tortoises are gone. We don't even know where the last tortoise... And with the tortoise regiment defeated, the Spartan reinforcements are coming in because they no longer have to deal with the bloody tortoise. Right, let's just zoom right out here. See if we can get a bird's eye view for what the bloody hell's happening at this point. Right, eye in the sky up here. What I'm pretty sure is going on is Spartans are still just pouring forward in this direction. This detachment of Spartans appears to be constantly being diverted. Well, one, these guys just appear to be getting stuck on a cliff, so never mind. This force, however, is taking on the Persians. Now, Spartans will tear Persians apart. That's just pretty much history. That's the one bit that 300 did get right. If you bring one Persian versus one Spartan, the Spartan does pretty bloody well out of that. Spartans versus Romans. Well, the Romans ought to be winning, but they're not because this game is just wrong. Screw it. And yeah, for the most part, it looks like actually, I think the war between the Romans and the Persians is continuing over here. But to be honest, the majority of the Roman force right now seems to be dedicated to dealing with the Spartans. So I suspect the Spartans are actually, well, they're getting worn down, but they're getting worn down a lot more slowly than the other two. I think the Spartans are going to win this in the end, but it's actually going to be surprisingly close, because eventually they're going to have to take on both the Romans and the Persians simultaneously. Life not looking so hot for the north of the city. The sad remaining Persians taking on the Spartans right now. Not looking good at all. And oh, the tortoises. The pile of tortoise corpses at the back. They actually did surprisingly well against the Persians. They've actually got a load of flipping health, I think. So actually they're quite an effective fighting force, which is surprising, but there we go. Yep, that is, to use my favourite word in Rome Total War, chunked Persians. They have been well flipping chunked. We've still got 5,000 Spartans on the field, but 10,000 of the Persian and Romans combined if they just end up taking on both at once. Rather embarrassingly for the forces of Rome, it appears they're actually going to be the first that's going to be eliminated in this grand scrap. Well, after the US soldiers, who admittedly died before the tortoises did, so probably the ultimate humiliation here is for America. But yes, they were out-survived by the tortoises. Though possibly the ultimate humiliation is for the Persians, who actually seem to be slightly struggling with the tortoises. In a one-on-one fight, I think actually did a little bit worse versus the tortoises than they actually dished out there. What's going on around here? Might be just like a little step or something. I think there's just somehow you guys are just kind of fighting up. Oh, I think it might just be a pile of corpses. Yeah, I think it's just a giant pile of corpses right now that you're fighting up. But sadly, it's not going well for the Romans here in this little choke point. Oh, yeah, that one Spartan at the top there that kind of got highlighted. He's just killed. I think I just saw him kill like 5 Romans. He finally got killed. Okay, bring in another one. So this guy steps forward, kills at least 2. Oh, no. This is where things are not going well. It's dawn the following day, things not looking good for the Romans, and admittedly we have indeed managed to confirm that war does indeed never change. It doesn't matter whether you come from a Persian dynasty, the Hellenic tradition, or a grand Roman martial heritage, the greatest enemy you possess is bad pathfinding. We've got some Spartans stuck here on these city streets. I think they're trying to get through to the Romans, so we're looking a bit thin on the ground. Roman reinforcements are stuck kind of squidged against a cliff over here. We've got some holdout Persians over in this corner, and a massive pile of Spartans, like, you know, 5 times their number, just desperately trying to push in and get into this corner. They're not doing very well at it. I think we've got also Persian reinforcements up north there. They're not getting on very well. These guys, not even sure what these guys are trying to do. I think they're trying to get to the Romans, but they're not managing it. Though at this point, I think we just have to admit that the Romans in the city are going to get completely chunked apart by the Spartans. When that happens, we'll have to see what the Spartans' next move is. So I'm pretty sure that over there might be the last Romans actually in the city. After that, the only Romans left are the ones stuck over there. So I'm not sure what the Spartans' next move is. Hopefully, they'll find a way to these Persians, and it might well be Spartan victory. Yep, the breakthrough has happened on the left. The Romans have completely collapsed here, and it would appear the Spartans are now just trying to get to the Roman reinforcements over here on the cliff. Right now, they are not heading in the other direction. The Spartans over here are still just flipping stuck. I wonder if I can actually get involved in this in some capacity. I know you can actually issue orders. So if I'm just down here, yeah, I'm just this Spartan now. So if I just tap V, and I can say, hold your guns. Yeah, on me. Is everyone willing to potentially follow me? Because I think I can actually lead you to some flipping lads here. So if you guys just want to come with me, that's right. Guys. Over here? Yeah? Is everyone? Oh, some people thought about it for a second, but then they weren't so keen. Okay, what if I tell them to go to a position that's over here or so? Oh, there's just a Persian here. Guys, go over. Oh, flip. Guys, the Persians are literally flipping here. Alright? This is a concern. Just screw you. I can take out Persian, gosh darn it. Guys, are any of you willing to... Oh, some of them are figuring it out. I think I've actually managed to correctly bring them in the right direction. Yeah, that's right. Guys, orders. I need you to go like over there, and then we'll loop you round the corner. Okay, oh, there's more flipping. What are you guys doing over there? Get involved. Found 3 cowards over here. Screw those guys. Yeah, we've found ourselves some flipping Persians over here and Spartans over here. Yeah, these small force of Spartans are actually going to do some really, really good work. So probably we can just flipping murder these guys. Hello. Screw you. Oh, I really got overwhelmed by Persians there. Oh, it's Thermopylae all over again. The most fun thing I ever read about the Persian invasion of Greece, you know, as was popularised by the film 300, was like, oh, 1,000,000 bajillion Persians, where their arrows shall block out the sun. Someone did some interesting research, which basically kind of, they had to look at, like, literally, like, how good were supply lines at that point in history, like, how much food were the Persians capable of moving around? How much agricultural land could ancient Greece theoretically support? Like, how many men on the march could be fed without starving to death? Because, like, we can basically put a cap on how many men were involved in that war, because if you physically can't feed them, they're all going to die of starvation anyway. So, you know, they're not really getting involved in much of a war at that point. And someone basically did the numbers, and they concluded that we could put a reasonable estimate for what the number of Greek troops was, because, like, you know, we have much better records for citizen numbers, and we can put an estimate for how many people would be fighting from Athens, for example. So, you know, we have a much better estimate there. So therefore, they tried to do the maths for how big an army could the Persians possibly have supported, even if they were really good at scavenging and whatever. And the conclusion was the Persian force was probably about the same size as the Greek force. It was probably a similar-ish number. Like, you know, all of this we hear, oh, you know, 300 Spartans versus a bajillion Persians. But no, the numbers were probably comparable. I love that. I love that so, so much. Now, what's going on down here? We've got some Spartans trying to get down onto the Romans by literally cliff diving onto them. Marvellous. We've got a few Spartans over here just basically tearing some Romans apart. And we've also got some Persians. Yeah, the Persians aren't even doing that flipping badly. It's the Romans that are really sucking here. And these Persians are basically just spitting over the side to humiliate the Romans, to be honest. Can I even throw myself off the cliff? Hang on. Am I allowed to just basically hop off the cliff? Is that allowed? Yes! Yes, it is! Glory! The glory didn't last very long. Every Total War loving bone in my body is telling me to just select these guys and put them into fire at will mode, because that would be so good right now. In the town, we've only got a handful of Persian holdouts, and to be honest, that's mainly because they're hiding up here on the roof, which the Spartans haven't really managed to get onto. Strong, beefy blokes, not necessarily the best educated. But you know what? The town centre is clearly held by the Spartans. I think we're ready to call it in their favour. Congratulations, Sparta. In a complete historical nonsense, you've managed to beat Romans very handily in a one-on-one fight. Next up, a grand free-for-all to see who can claim the ultimate prize beyond this bridge. The ultimate prize is Tortoise Castle. These tortoises have been told to hold position. They will guard this palace to their last. But 7 armies are coming to claim it from them. The question is, who will get the honour? And will they have been wiped out? Too much to actually do a decent job holding off over there. So, what have we got? We have got ourselves one zombie horde here, approximately 10,000 zombies ready to go. But what that coming up behind, it's 2,500 of Santa Claus. We've no bloody clue how strong he is, but he is starting pretty close by to the zombies. 5,000 Romans marching up the road, appropriately enough, in a nice little marching square there. Romans using the road, naturally enough. But perhaps dangerously nearby and probably the odds-on favourite under the circumstances, they're not surrounded. 1,000 US World War II troops starting very, very close by indeed. I think this is the medieval force. Yes, this is indeed the medieval spearmen, starting off with a force of 3,000. But if you're a betting man, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because here's 10,000 chickens, and they have certainly got the numbers. The largest army on the field, in fact. Go, chickens, go! And at the rear, ready to take on any of the survivors, we have got ourselves 5,000 orcs. I've no idea how strong they are, but to be honest, I kind of hope that, you know, when these guys arrive, some of the Americans arrive, because I feel like we might need some guns to take care of them. Those are our competitors. Begin the battle for Castle Tortoise. Go! Frame rate, drop, down to about 10. 10 FPS, lovely. Oh, the Romans are splitting up immediately. That's not a good idea. The zombies appear to be going, oh, the Santas are going straight for, oh dear. The Romans are running straight at... Oh! But the Americans are focusing all their fire on the medieval forces. I feel like that's not going to work out well for them. Right, let's start off by heading over there. Yep. Some horrendous thing is going on to the spearmen. They've got big shields. They're not actually dropping as fast as you might expect. They are kind of vaguely surviving. And when I say vaguely surviving, it is truly pretty bloody vague. And I suspect, oh, the topography is not helping them either. There's some big rocks in the way, and this isn't looking good. This is not looking good for the medieval spearmen at all. I suspect they're going to be the first to be eliminated. In comes some Romans from the side as well, but there's plenty of Americans to take them out. You've got to say the Americans are the favourites. But the majority of the Roman force is not heading that way. And the majority of the Roman force is actually heading over to deal with the zombie apocalypse over here. And those zombies are going down very, very fast indeed. The question is, who's actually doing the worst damage here? Is it the Romans or is it Santa? Hang on, let's just go over to a Santa and see what we can figure out over there. And it would appear, oh, some of the zombies are going straight for the tortoise. Hang on, we've got to focus on this. Zombie versus tortoise action over here. Let's get a good action close-up. And how are the tortoises doing? The tortoises are doing pretty well, I think. Hang on, so how much health does the tortoise have? The tortoise has 400 health. That's its secret, you see. These guys, they may not attack hard, but they do have 400 health. The zombies coming in, they've got 160. They've got more health than a flipping Roman. This game is biased against Romans, alright. I think whoever programmed this game is a filthy, filthy Carthaginian. Because it feels very, very biased against the Romans here. In comes the majority of the Roman strength taking on the zombies. Surely they've got to be doing alright. The Romans are dropping pretty quickly, but the zombies are dropping faster. But then, in all fairness, the zombies do have a further, like, 10,000. Most of the zombie force appears to have made its way over here to try and deal with Santa. How is Santa doing? Santa's dropping. You've got to feel like Santa's going to be in trouble sooner rather than later. Right, back over to the Americans. Let's see what they're doing, because by now, they've... Oh, bloody hell. What are the Americans even firing on right now? I think they're turning their attention on the chickens. It's probably the chickens. The zombies are beginning their assault on Castle Tortoise, and at least some of the tortoises have gone down. How many tortoises are we down to right now? There are still nearly 3,000 tortoises. Some of the Americans have started just kind of heading over here. They're actually not holding position this time. They are actually attacking. So, few have come over here. They're starting to just fire on the Romans. That's not going to do much good for the Romans at all. They're under fire from a lot of sides. But to be honest, it's the chickens we're most concerned by. Starting with 10,000 troops, the chickens are already down to 200. And the Santas are in trouble too. I think the Santas are going down first, but to be honest, oh no. The orcs came in. The orcs came in, destroy the chickens. There's still a few chickens remaining. Don't know why they are. Sadly, I can't highlight them at all. I don't think I can click on. No, I can't highlight them. I'll kind of draw the camera to them. But it's the Santas that are going down first. Santa's dumb. And that means there's a good like 5,000 zombies who are probably about to turn their attention on the Romans as the Americans probably start... No! The Americans are not closing the trap on the Romans. There's a handful of Americans firing into the Roman forces. And to be honest, a handful of people with actual flipping guns is quite significant. But at this point, the chickens, they can probably just slink away to lay their eggs another day. It's all now about the flipping orc forces here. Let's just get involved and see what's going on. How good is an orc compared to a medieval spearman? Just get down here. Orcs have 500 health. That is quite a lot of health. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let me through. Let me through. Excuse me. There we go. And yes, we can indeed just get some good hits in. Lovely. 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 Come on, come on. Will the orcs at least have a chance of standing up some of the American gunfire? But speaking of the American gunfire, it's already starting to come in. So you've got to kind of hope that the Americans are actually targeting the medieval spearmen, because then the orcs at least have a chance to get in and do some good work. Because there's a lot of orcs. There's still flipping over 4,000 of them. The Americans have, I think they've lost 8. 8 men so far. Guns. Useful as it turned out. Right, out we come. Medieval spearmen have got to be in trouble. Yes, and when we say in trouble, it's even worse than I thought. There's only flipping 28 of them left. There's one chicken. There is one chicken somewhere. And oh no, it died. It died. Right. Medieval spearmen are down to, yeah, 13, 12, 10. They're about to be finished off, but as soon as that happens, I assume the orcs are going to turn their overwhelming numbers and strength and hit points onto the Americans, because they are indeed the nearest force. So, that could spell some difficulty for the Americans. Meanwhile, hang on, let's get over here, back over to Castle Tortoise. Castle Tortoise, despite being under sustained zombie attack for some time at this point, has actually only lost like 300 troops. These tortoises, they don't flipping quit, man. Right, get in. Get in nice and close here. Yep. The tortoises, they are standing and fighting, and I think they're actually doing pretty bloody well. Tortoises are going down, sure, but zombies are going down too. There's still, wait, there's 13,000? Wait, the zombie numbers are going up. I think the zombies are converting other people into zombies. There are now more zombies than actually flipping started, which does indeed actually make quite a lot of sense. Yes, the question is, can they swim? Can they actually swim? Yes, they can make it over the water. Good. It's quite shallow and zombies know how to swim. How are the Romans doing, by the way? Oh, the Romans aren't doing so hot. I think at this point, the zombie apocalypse has pretty much turned its attention overwhelmingly onto Castle Tortoise. The final few Romans are being presumably converted right now, but Americans with guns versus zombies. I've seen some zombie films. As a general rule, even though the zombies often end up winning, the Americans with guns do a lot of damage to them. Possibly enough that the Tortoises will be the ultimate victors here. Oh, Rome. Oh, we who are about to die salute you, and I suspect they've been turned to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just saw that guy just become a zombie. Problem is, this large force here, which direction is that going in now? Is it heading towards Castle Tortoise, or is it heading towards the Americans? And speaking of which, ooh, I tell you what, the Americans are starting to lose some men, and you've got to say, the Orcs aren't going, I mean, the Orcs are going down, but I think, potentially, the Orcs have managed to close the distance, or come very, very close by. Come on, Orcs. We are cheering for you here. Couple of bits of light fire over the river. Couple of Americans. To be honest, if the main zombie force starts heading towards this little back guard, it's not going to do well. Well, actually, if only a few do. Just depends where the main force ends up. Right, back over to the main American force now, because if these guys can basically defeat the Orcs, then you've got to say they've got a good chance. So let's just get over here, see how the Orcs are doing. The Orcs are going down, but 500 points to go. They might be able to close the gap, and if they can probably do a pretty good job. Yeah, here we go. They're actually getting in, and they are taking down the odd American. Yeah, that Orc there has actually managed to take out 2 Americans. Finally goes down, but they are getting in. They're getting in, and they're actually slowly doing some damage. The question is, can they possibly have enough strength to do it? If the zombie horde heads this way, potentially, with the firepower split, the Orcs might have a chance to finish off the Americans, but it feels like 1,000 US soldiers. That's pretty much the elite of the elite over here. The zombies are coming in. Can they possibly close the gap against this force? I think they can, actually. In fact, if anything, they're just creating some new zombies here. Let's just see what goes on. Yep, let's just get right in on this. So, yep, American dead. Zombie takes his place. And even though these guys are tough, they don't have that many hit points. The zombies can finish them pretty quickly. Another one goes down. New zombie enters the horde. Now up to 13,000. Oh dear. As Doctor Who pointed out, the key strategic weakness of the human race, the dead outnumber the living. I think the Americans have realised the problem now as their own zombified friends start heading in this direction. The fire is split, but if the fire is split against these zombies, that's just going to make it easier for the Orcs to get in. Now, speaking of the Orcs, they are, well, they're not losing strength that fast. At this point, you've got to say, I think the Americans are actually losing strength faster than the Orcs are. And that's a concern. Right, get down here. Yep, is a lot of firepower going on, but you've got to say, let's get right underneath it. Can we get underneath the firepower? Not quite, it's one hell of a light show down here. Let's just zoom out a little bit here, get over to the rest of... Yeah, the majority of the Orcs are kind of struggling to get over here a little bit. That's fine. There's still 2,600 tortoises. They just won't die. How much health do the Americans have, by the way? So imagine they hit hard, but they don't have that much health. So let's be an American. Yeah, the Americans actually only have 100 strength. Also, are Americans allowed to shoot other Americans? No, tragically, they cannot. So these guys now just holding out here against waves and waves of Orcs and just trying to get them down, just shooting them down as they come. It's not going so well, though. These guys will just take bullets for days. Another American goes down. Down to 800 now. 20% of the strength is gone. Die! Die, you unholy, not actually real bastards who are apparently like 5 times tougher than Romans. Boo! Didn't go well for Johnny there. Oh my goodness, the Americans, I think, have pretty much just started collapsing. Look how fast their numbers are going down. Something's managed to get on top of them, and I think it's actually the zombies. It's not actually the Orcs at all. The zombies are doing way more damage. They're being destroyed from within by their own dead zombified compatriots. They just focus too much firepower. Oh no! No, this is it. This is the end of the Americans. I thought they were going to be the logical winners here, but no, it would appear, well, actually, I thought the Orcs were going to sweep through the Americans. That was going to be the end of it. But now if it's Orcs versus zombies, well, the Orcs can certainly take a lot of hits, but I don't know if maybe... Ooh, that's interesting. Yep, the United States, given up, collapsed. Their final stand is right here. Let's go in, you brave, brave bastards. Well, as brave as you can be when you kind of, you know, brought guns when no one else had them. It's not that brave, to be honest. I think that's, yep, that's the Americans dead. They're the next faction to go down. The chickens and the Santas and the Romans have gone down, and the US are next. The zombies, up to 13,000. Oh, sorry, the spearmen. The spearmen are also gone. But, at some point, oh yeah, there's going to be very soon, there's going to be more flipping tortoises than orcs. The tortoises might flipping win this. Oh, this truly is a catastrophic warning about the folly of warfare, that in the end, all these forces want to do is take Castle Tortoise, and in the end, not a single one of them is going to have the strength to pull it off. How are the zombies getting on, by the way? They've pushed forward a little bit. How are the forces actually at the front door? Yeah, they haven't really pushed through the main gate. There's a lot of tortoise reinforcements yet. There's a lot of undead here. You haven't even managed to kind of fully push in through the front gate at this point, so that's interesting. Right, let's be this tortoise right here. This tortoise right here. Excuse me, excuse me. Right, round. Come on, you bastard. Take it. Take him out. Go. I think these guys do have an attack. They must do, because they're taking out zombies. Go. I think one of the others is in my way. No, I'm being attacked and I can't even attack in response. Get to the front. Sadly, I was killed. Tortoises down to 2,000 and the numbers of zombies are just swelling. The orcs, there's still 2,000 over here. But how are they doing versus the zombie forces that are left? Doesn't look too hot at the minute. Hang on, where are you guys even running right now? Ah, wait a flipping minute. It would appear, I suspect, that they've actually taken care of the zombies over here. Yep, they've wiped out the zombies that were sent over there to deal with the Americans. And now, they are just dogpiling into the rear of the zombies. Well, that's going to help out Castle Tortoise if there's a fight at the rear. So, over here, yeah, these guys can just basically just start tearing apart zombies very, very quickly. Hang on, let's get in this myself. Let's just see how strong these guys are. Excuse me, I'd like to be you, please. There we are. Right. To the front line, I've got, 500 health. Let's see how good I am at tearing apart zombies. And it's not quite a one-hit kill. It's a 3-hit kill. That's a bit concerning, because you're going to get yourself swarmed really quickly. And I've just added to the zombie horde there. And despite the number of zombies that are even now being kind of pushed off the cliff and repeatedly falling back into the water, I don't think it kills them. I think they just get back up and they... Oh no, there's definitely at least one of them's died there. Full damage. Oh yeah, full damage can kill them. This is potentially a good way. Just push them off flipping cliff. Some of them get back up again. Some of them most certainly don't. You've got to say at this point, there's only 1,600 orcs remaining. I'm not sure they're going to do well. Like, the zombie numbers are going down quickly. The orcs are doing their job, but there's not going to be enough here, surely. The chances of the orcs fighting the tortoises at this point is extremely low. However, are there any kind of orcs left over here? Actually, there are a few orcs. There's a few orcs coming around this end, trying to take the bridge. The zombies just really, really want to take Castle Tortoise at this point. They're just heading in here. They're doing some beautiful work, just kind of chopping through the undead. Very, very nice indeed. There's a good group of them. They can do good work. But in the end, we've got a problem. Look at the number of zombies. It's kind of basically holding steady at about 12,890. But it keeps popping up again. Like, unfortunately, the orc numbers are going down. As much as they're doing a good job chopping through zombies, the zombies just keep being replaced by new zombies. And in fact, this small detachment that came here trying to do a rear action, I think that's the last of it. No, there's still just like a handful coming in. To be honest, guys, I wouldn't. I'd just go back to your stronghold, or wherever it is orcs live exactly in this particular iteration of the bastards. I mean, brave. I will say, absolutely brave. They are seeing this. This is what they're looking at, and they're thinking, yeah, let's go challenge that. And it's not going to go well for them, unfortunately. If only the Americans and the orcs had not fought, then maybe, just maybe, the Americans would have stood a chance, providing supporting fire, taking out these zombies before they could close the gap. But no, the poor dead Americans, all very much dead over there. One of the earlier factions to go out. How's the charge going over here? Because somewhere, there's still 1,000 orcs. I think they're mainly, I think they're kind of stuck down here, and they're kind of very slowly crossing the river. Oh no. Oh, that poor guy. Oh dear. Yeah, they're just basically being pushed off the cliff at the minute and kind of bursting when they hit the bottom. But very slowly but surely, the zombies have managed to push their way past over here, and they are taking out the tortoises, damn it. Right, come on. We've got to fight back. Fight back. Fight back. Fight back. You're not doing a great job fighting back here. Right, tortoise allies. Orders. I would like you to attack target, please. Attack! Go, my tortoise friends. We need to fight back. Gentlemen, on me! We fight for glory! Glory! Should have begun this speech after turning around, actually. It's a bit slow being a tortoise. Get out of my way! I can win this! I know how! I know the secret! You just bite them for it. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, the orc numbers are collapsing now. A significant force has managed to make it over the river. But tragically, yep, they are fighting uphill. This is a noble, noble defense against all that is good and decent and alive. And they are doing a magnificent job just chopping through these bastards as they come. But it's not enough. It's never going to be enough. Look at the numbers fall. The numbers are falling. And for once, the zombie numbers are falling too. But it's just not fast enough. Night has fallen. And not only has the orc attempt to push over the river failed, the zombies have pushed over the river themselves in reverse. And now the final last stand of the orcs is occurring. 36 of them remaining at this point. You brave bastards. But tragically, the zombies, despite everything the orcs have done, the orcs haven't got 10,000 kills almost. Despite that, the zombies are still in the mid-12,000s. Because it's, yeah, that whole anyone the zombies kill becomes a zombie thing. That unquestionably helped them out because I think they just swarmed Santa Claus. Oh no, there's reinforcements coming over there. That's no good. I think they just swarmed Santa Claus and the Romans, who are not the two strongest factions, and that just bolstered their numbers so much. Then the orcs and the US going to war, it just gave the zombies the opening they needed. There are still 400 tortoises fighting bravely in Castle Tortoise, but you've got to think there's now 12,000 zombies and no one coming to attack the rear, because in just a moment the orcs are going to be gone. Here we go, the last few remaining. There are apparently 2 orcs. Somewhere there's still 2 orcs. Where are they? Oh, here they come. I think they're kind of running in over here. I don't know why you guys were hiding proof. So much of you just like, you know, having a quick breather. Oh, possibly these two just kind of, you know, snuck off for a cheeky snog. They didn't think they needed to be here, but they do, because this is it. These 2 lovebirds who had just snuck away. No! No, Orc Steve! Oh, at that point, Orc Steve II, he didn't even want to live anymore. And with that, the zombie reinforcements have all turned their attention straight flipping back to Castle Tortoise. And you've got to say, things not looking so hot there. The honor guard that was guarding the gate is dead. The zombies are just very... The zombies are just pushing along here. They're just pushing along here. There's so many of them. They're pushing themselves off to their death. Some of them die. Some just kind of ghost splats hit the bomb. Some of them just immediately rejoin the horde and just start coming along. That's how many flipping zombies they are. They're just pushing each other off the cliffs. Then just immediately rejoining. This is actually... That's pretty damn badass. There's so many zombies. They're just falling straight back into the horde below and beginning the ride around again. Zombies coming on that side. You can see them coming in. They're closing in on the final few holdouts at the front. Meanwhile, what's going on? No, I think actually we might have just missed the final tortoise in the actual courtyard being taken. The plaza is taken. This city belongs to the undead now. Here's what we want to do. Unit customization. So Persian, put your health down to 100, okay. Romans, meanwhile, go up to 150 health and get at the bare minimum 60 damage. These are supposed to be flipping elite, alright? And that we save as a true Roman. Absolutely, I thoroughly recommend if you play this game, do that first. Just to slightly tweak the Roman and the Persian units to make it a bit more historically accurate. And as we reflect on the valuable moral lesson we've learnt here, which is, do not fight against people who we have more in common with than the zombie horde, because otherwise the zombie horde will just kill us. So I think we've learnt something very, very valuable there indeed. That is Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. It's ridiculous and it, you know, basically slows to a crawl if there's that many units on screen. But it's silly and it's fun and I've had quite a lot of fun playing it. So there you are. Link in the description below. Maybe we'll have a look at something similar. Because I think there's, what was the other one that was not so long ago? There was Historically Accurate Battle Simulator or something not so very, very long ago as well. Maybe I'll have a look at that at some point. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a TrueNerd. And this has been the ridiculous but really rather good fun Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. Thank you very much and goodbye. Has he got nipple tassels on? There is nothing less intimidating than a fat bloke with nipple tassels. I wouldn't kill him. We're standing on top of a pool of oil and he's holding a torch. I'm fighting the same guy 3 times at the moment. It is actually the same bloke. It's cocking Scotland, not the waste beyond the wall. This isn't Game of Thrones, it's just Britain.